everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Manuishu ACCA classes. In today's video, we will discuss one of the more past paper and that is from the ACCA F5 also known as performance management. And this past paper belongs from the December 2023 attempt and it is from sections B and question name is Raasy. So trust me, if you are good at ABC costing, then this question will be quite easy for you. So be with me within this video till end and let's solve this question together. But one more thing. So if you are watching my video for the first time, do not forget to subscribe my channel and share it among your friends for more video like this. In case you are my existing viewer, don't forget to hit the like button as well as the bell icon to be more update regarding my video. So let's start the today video. So before moving to the question, let's have a roughly background about the company. So Raasy company manufacture three types of guitars in one of its division: the jazz, the rock, and the classic. So these are the type of guitars. Raasy company currently operate a costing system which uses single overhead rate based on the revenue to charge overhead cost to guitars. So basically Raasy company is currently using the single overhead rate and they are charging the overhead based on the revenue to charge the overhead cost to the guitar. And the finance director has suggested a change in the ABC system. So now company is planning to switch to the modern manufacturing system also known as ABC costing, right? So we have given the cost and manufacturing information along with the breakdown of the overhead cost. So this is the all about the background. So let's move to the first question. What the first question asks, what is the profit per unit of a jazz guitar using the current basis for charging overhead cost? And be careful, the question wants your answer in the 2 decimal place. However, this won't impact, this will impact mostly in case of the blank requirement. So let's figure out how to calculate the profit per unit of a jazz guitar using the current basis for charging overhead. So first of all, let's have a idea what is the total overhead cost. I hope my screen is visible now. So total overhead, I will write in the shortcut OH. So you can see the breakdown of the overhead cost have been given here, right? So we need to add this one by one. That is the 40,810 and other is 120,540, 643,100. So adding this will how much is the total overhead cost? So 120,540 and then 643 100. So this will give the total overhead cost of 804450 and this is in the currency value, don't forget that. Okay, so now what the question says, the company is charging overhead based on the revenue. You can see the sentence here. So we need a total revenue, right? So what is the total revenue? Okay, so let me add the bracket. So you can see the selling price for the jazz, that is a 620, and what is the number of unit we produce? Production batch size in unit. No, we need the how much quantity we sold out, right? That is the 5,000. So 5,000 again, then plus the selling price of rock is 700 and how much unit we sold it out? 6,000, right? Then we have next classic and the classic selling price is 450 and what is the unit we sold it out? It's 3,000, right? So adding all this will give you the total revenue, that is 8,650,000, right? So this is the your revenue. Okay, so now we need to calculate the OAR in order to charge the overhead. right? So what is the OAR? We need to calculate it. OAR. So we are absorbing the overhead based on the revenue. So this will give us the OAR of 0.093, and this is the dollar. No, sorry, yeah, dollar per dollar revenue. Okay, so this is the OAR, but the question don't ends here. Question is asking to calculate the profit for the jazz. So for the jazz, what is the selling price? Selling price is 650, 620, and the prime cost means variable cost is 370. We will deduct this as well, and then we will deduct the overhead. And how can we do that? How can we calculate total overhead absorbed for jazz? So we have calculated OAR, and we need to multiply with the selling price, and selling price is 620 because the OAR being absorbed as per the revenue, right? So this will give us, let's sum all this value. Yeah. So this will give you the profit of 192.34. One more thing, the question asks in the two decimal place. So 30, we will have 0.34 after the 192. So first option seems to be feasible, right? Doesn't sound it's easy? It's obviously easy. So next, let's move to the next question. That is the question number 2. And what the question number 2 is asking, using activity-based costing, what is the machine setup cost for the raw guitar? So let's copy paste the background because we might need it in the every question, I think. So yeah, we have it here now. Okay. Yeah, it's done. So now we have to use activity-based costing and activity-based costing. So what is the machine setup total cost? Machine setup cost. What is the machine setup cost? It's 120, 540. I'm correct? Yes. And then what is the basically in activity based costing, what we do, we first of all find out the cost pool and the cost driver. So question is asking for the cost pool, I mean machine setup cost, and what is the cost driver? So cost driver already been given in the question, that is the number of machine setup. Okay, so number of machine setup. But we don't know what is the machine setup, number of machine setup, right? So we need to calculate it, right? So basically, how can we calculate it? So what is our product? Product is our jazz, right? Then we have rock, and then we have a classic, right? Okay. Then we need a batches because question is just we need a number of machine setup, right? So but you can see the number of component produced and sold is 5,000, 6,000, 3,000, and production batch size means in one batch there is 100 unit. So for, and you can see machine setup given is for the per batch. So first of all, let me write it down, then you will be more clear. So production, right? Production amount for jazz is 5,000, and this is the amount we have been sold out, 6,000, and then we are having 3,000, right? Okay, so question asks batch size. No, question has also provided the batch size. That means in one batch there is 100 unit. So how many? Let me write down first. So 100 and 150 and 200. So now how many batch will be there if we are producing the 5,000 unit of jazz? So number of batch, and why we are calculating this you will be get to know in a while. Okay. So number of batch will be here, it will be 50, and similarly for the rock and classic. Okay, so number of batch. So now you can see machine setup per batch. It's given in the question. That means in one batch, how many times we are required to set up the machine. It's provided in the question. Okay, you can see here. Let me drag it over here. So what is the machine setup per batch? It's 3, 5 and 4. Okay, so now if in one batch we are setting up machine 3 times for the jazz, how many time we will set up the machine for 50 batch, right? So this is the unitary method. So total machine setup. So for one batch, if we are having the 3 for 50 batch, we will obviously have the more, so we need to multiply. So 150, 200 and 60. So we need to calculate the total value. And what is the total? We will do the sum. Yes, and this will give you the 410. So now we will here use 410. Okay. So after doing this, we can calculate our OAR, and again OAR equal to your machine setup cost divided by number of machine setup cost divided by number of machine setup. Okay, so we will divide these two in order to get the OAR, that is the 294. So if we are using the 294, so what is the machine setup cost allocated to the which product? Rock. Okay, so here machine setup cost allocation we need basically. So OAR is 294 here, right? And how many times the machine has been set up? 150 times. So we can do this for rock as well. So OAR is 294, and how many times the machine has been set up? 200 times. And machine setup OAR this, and machine setup in the case of classic is 60. So you don't need to calculate for the jazz and the classic, but I want to show you adding all this should be same as the total cost of machine cost. So these two should be same. If not, in that case you have done mistake. Okay, so you need to figure it out what the mistake you have done. Okay, so what the question asks, using the activity based costing, what is the machine setup cost for the rock guitar in the 2 decimal place? Okay, so now we need to calculate for the we need to calculate per unit, right? So for the total machine setup cost for the rock is this much, and how much unit we have produced? 6000, and this will give you 9.8, right? But remember, if you put this answer in this blank space 9.8, you won't get credit. Yeah, you won't get credit. Do you know why? Because the question has said to write your answer in the 2 decimal place. So I have told multiple of time that in case of the blank option, first thing that should be hit in your mind is the format which has been demanded by examiner to keep our answer, right? So here the examiner wants us to put our answer in the 2 decimal place. So you might be thinking, so we got our answer in the 1 decimal place, how can we put the 2? So you need to put 0. Okay, but you need to put the answer in the 2 decimal place in order to get the full marks. Okay, so this is for the question number 2. I hope this is clear now. Okay, so we are done with the 1 and the 2, right? So let's have in the question number 3. Yes. So for the question number 3, as the question is asking for the cost of component processing cost for the classic guitar. So let's first have what is the total component processing cost? Component processing cost. So what is that? It's 643,100. Okay, and this is the cost pool. And what is the cost driver that is generating this cost? So it is already been given in the question, that is the processing time. Processing time, right? So we don't know this. We need to calculate again. So let me have this copy paste because we need this again. So again we need to calculate the OAR, and how can we calculate if we know these two value? So one we know but other one we don't know, so we need to calculate it, right? Okay, so now processing time per unit given in the hour, that is the 4, right? So how many unit we are producing for the jazz, rock and the classic? So it's 5,000, 6,000 and 3,000, right? So adding of this will, okay. So now processing time per unit. Okay. So for jazz it's 4. It's given in the hour, right? Don't forget. 5 and 3. 3. Okay. So now what? This is per unit. So we need to find a total hour. And how can we do that? We need to multiply. So this, if 1 unit we are requiring the 4, how many time we require for the 5,000 unit? Again for the rock similarly, just a second, I have just copy paste value in the wrong box. So this will be, yeah. So we got our total hours for the all the 3 product we need is 59,000. So 59,000, and this will give us OAR of 10.9, right? Okay. Now question asks for the classic guitar. Okay. So for classic guitar, let's allocate this cost to the all the product. You don't need to do, but just to make you aware about this, that this is done in this way. So that's why I'm doing for the whole of the all of the 3 product. Yes. So adding all this should be equal to our total cost of component cost, right? And it is right. So we got our total component cost allocated to the classic guitar, but the question asks for the one of the product per units. So that is the 32.7. Again the question asks in the 2 decimal place, so that means 32.70. Okay, so this is how you can solve this question. I say in the start of the video, if you have a good grip over this concept of ABC, this question is quite easy, trust me. So now let's move to the question number 4. Which of the following statement concern the advantage of activity-based costing as opposed to the traditional absorption costing system is correct? You might be familiar with the traditional system and the ABC custom. ABC system. So first statement says all overhead cost will be accurately linked to the measurable cost driver, which will facilitate the control of all overhead cost. So basically, if there is term like accurately, always, never, just hold a second and try to figure it out. Does it is the case? So we can't allocate the cost accurately to all of the cost driver, right? So it won't be correct again, right? So for B, what it says, costing will be more accurate when overhead are a small proportion of the total cost. See, ABC costing is more suitable when the proportion of overhead is large, not the small. So that's why it's again incorrect. Short-term decision making will be more meaningful because all fixed production overhead are included in the calculation. So basically, short term, we obviously ignore the fixed cost, right? So that's why the question is talking about the fixed cost, but again the question have attached the short term decision making. So in short term, obviously fixed cost will be irrelevant, right? So that's why it's incorrect. And last, costing will be more accurate as it recognizes that activity are consumed at a different rate by different product. Exactly. In traditional costing, what we are doing, that we are using just machine hours, labor hours, and the unit to absorb the overhead. And during that time, the proportion of overhead was also small. But nowadays, lots of work is done by the machine, so overhead cost proportion is large. And in that case, if we use the traditional based system, so it will be inappropriate to allocate the cost, right? So overhead cost. So that's why if we use the cost pool and the cost driver to allocate the cost, it will be more beneficial, and we will have a more accuracy of the cost that involved in the product, right? So that's why option D is correct. Okay, so last question. The finance director is pleased with the result of AVC analysis of the guitars and is keen to extend the use of AVC to other division in the company. One such division, which manufacture electronic keyboard, has begun to introduce AVC and has identified some relevant activity and the cost driver. So here, what you need to do is you need to match the cost driver to the activity identified. So if activity is material handling, so what would be the cost driver? Do you think number of service requests? Number of material movement? Yeah, this could be. Obviously, this could be, because rest of the option doesn't fit with this activity, because we are handling the material, so it is obviously related to the material movement. Again, customer service, number of service requests. Yeah, right. So sorry. Number of warranties handled, because we what we provide the customer in return, the warranty service, right? The guarantee service, right? So again, this will be number of warranty handled. Right. So if we have a IT support, in that case, number of service request, and if in case of procurement, the number of purchase order, and in case of maintenance, that is the number of machine hours. Right. So this is how you can deal with the question like this, and I hope you have enjoyed while solving this question. So if you have loved this video, please don't forget to subscribe my channel for more video like this, as well as share it among your friends, those who are appearing for the PM. So I hope I will get some good feedback after this video, and thank you so much guys for watching this video. Have a good day.